Hi Cancer, this is your forecast for the month of July 2018. This is a general reading for Cancer Sun, Cancer Rising, or Cancer Moon. For a more rounded overview, please watch your rising and moon sign as well. Now, the second week you have a major card, and for some of you there's a strong tie to a Gemini person. But for others of you, it seems that, you've hit critical mass. Last week there was some uncertainty, some doubt, some confusion. This week you have to make a choice. You're at a crossroads here. And it may tie to your partnerships, your relationships, whatever capacity. Could be business partners, could be a friendship, could be a lover. But you are definitely strapped in some way in order to make a decision. And for some of you, maybe, there's some issues where you're having to make a decision about healing. But this may tie to some form of temptation. And you're having to make a choice, perhaps between two opportunities, two lovers, a situation where if you choose A or B, they have very different outcomes and there's an impact. It could be that you are needing to make a decision about something going on outside of your circumstance, some external force that is interfering in a partnership. For some of you, maybe this has to do with a romantic meeting, whether you want to be sexually intimate with somebody, some kind of attraction that you feel, or the need to adjust in some way to another person or a collaboration. So you're having to make a major choice, an important decision this week. And again, it may come with some ordeal or challenge or temptation, but you are reviewing your connections with other people. There could be thoughts of love, of marriage, of commitment, and you may be very torn about that. You could be experiencing some very strong desires. Fortunately, this is a week where some illuminating advice arrives. Maybe you're giving that out or it's coming to you. You could be solving a problem. And perhaps this is the week where you actually, if you were sitting on the fence last week, you initiate something this week. It could be that you're encouraged to take a strong leadership role. This is a week where you can repair situations. You can improve them, gain some clarity, figure out what's going on with your situation. Because you took that time out last week, and if you were listening to your intuition, you now have new awareness, new understanding. You get the other person, you see what the circumstances are, and whatever you come to realize, perhaps you gain a greater sense of security. You have more peace of mind about your circumstances. So this could be a week where you are connecting with others. Perhaps you meet one or more people, and those people somehow have an influence on your destiny, your future. Maybe you reconnect with someone from your past, which is very likely with that Six of Cups sitting next to you. So, there's a very strong sense of connection to others. You're more responsible, you're more dedicated. And this is a week where people are drawn to you. There is a great sense of personal appeal, of magnetism, of charisma this week, where you easily attract other people. But perhaps part of the dilemma is that sense of popularity, either yours or someone else's, which make it difficult to achieve your goal. Maybe there's something that you want to do, and you have all these people expecting something of you, making demands, so you can't focus on your own personal goal. Or maybe you want to connect to somebody and they're difficult to get to because they're always tied up with other people. This is a week where you're going to enjoy these connections, although again, you have to have a sense of priority, put things in order. If you've had a difficulty, if last week there was some kind of conflict, this week you can smooth that over. And you can smooth it over by using your charm, your charisma, your sense of humor. And you can have positive discussions where you put things out on the table, but you do it in such a way where the other person feels comfortable. Nobody feels threatened. Nobody feels as if they're being, their feet are being held to the fire. In fact, this is a week where you're not going to want to be in those kind of circumstances where you're serious or things are heavy, because this week you feel lighter. Perhaps it's because you've come to terms with making your choices. But you're going to feel very adventurous. You're going to feel more willing to take a risk, more lighthearted, more playful, more spontaneous about a situation. And your good energy is going to attract attention to yourself. Maybe, maybe you're, again, at this peak of popularity, or people are recognizing your work or your worth or your value through some kind of award or promotion. Maybe you get a bonus of some sort, or somebody apologizes, or vice versa. But this is a week where you're willing to step out there and do something different, whether that's artistically, creatively, academically, and that can pay off for you. Now, there is a dilemma, of course, that you were facing, and maybe you still are. Maybe your relationship is experiencing some kind of stress or tension because there's an inability to move forward, or again, because you haven't been dealing with your emotions adequately. You've been repressing something that you need to say rather than expressing yourself, and that's creating some kind of dilemma. So this is about you, first of all, getting in connection with you, what you want, how you feel, rather than being in people please mode. This is about getting in touch with your truest, deepest desires and expressing that adequately. This is a week for you to recognize, not to bend over backwards, not to try to be the version of what somebody thinks you should be, perhaps not to be jealous or overbearing or territorial. And when you get hold of that fact, your relationships, your connections will improve. You're having to look at where, again, you've been too subservient. You've been giving in too much. You've been too certain that perhaps it's your charm that's going to save the day. This is about having a true connection. It's not just about, being flirtatious or charming or gallant, and, you think that's going to smooth things over, because that's exploiting your appeal in a negative way. And this is about connecting to others truly, opening up and speaking your truth. So this week you have to make a choice, and how you do that diplomatically, positively, using your magnetism, is going to be either challenged or rewarded. If your intention is not true, then people are going to see through your fickleness. They're going to recognize the disingenuousness of your attempt to smooth things over. So this is about using your natural charm and making some important choice this week. And again, you may have to initiate that. It may be time for you to stand at the helm to make this decision go forward.